Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shabby, and welcome to Arrows DIY. On my channel, I like to do Dollar Tree DIYs, high-end dupes, thrift flips, and the occasional trash to treasure. This is another episode in my Christmas series, and I'm super excited to show you the beginnings of my Christmas decorating in my home. I was able to do these things with items I already had laying around in my home, and I hope you find an idea or two to decorate your home for the holidays without spending a dime. This is part of the Shop Your House collab, and there's a giveaway, a $50 Amazon gift card, and I'll let you know how you can get a chance to win. Now let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to use this item I got at the thrift store for $8 at Goodwill. I like the shape of it, and I like the hooks and the sturdiness of this piece. So I just decided to try something different. So I gave it a good cleaning. Obviously, it's from the thrift store. God only knows where it came from. But I like the fact it had a shelf area on top. The hooks had these nice features to them and these little knobs on top. So I started off by unscrewing all the hardware and taking it all off. Once I got everything off, I also had to clean it again. But it's totally fine because I was still trying to pick a color. And I couldn't choose a color. So these are the two colors. There's the oatmeal. They're both chalk paints. I had the oatmeal and this other gray color called Castle by FolkArt Home Decor. I'm curious to know which one you would have chosen for your project, so let me know in the comments below. But this one here is what I'm using, and it's called Crackle, and I got it in the medium finish. I'll tell you more about that later. So I couldn't decide on the color, so I ended up just mixing the two in equal parts, and I really love the color it made. So I went ahead and I mixed that up, and I'm going to paint this whole piece. So I made sure to clean it really, really well so there was no residue, no grease, or anything left on this piece. And then I went ahead and I gave it a nice coat. And I love this color. It's the perfect grage color. It was exactly what I had in my brain. It was my vision, is what I'm trying to say. So I have this vision in my head for this shelf coat rack thing, and I'm just trying to realize it. So I paint this whole piece and I give it 2 coats. I also use this sponge brush because for the crackle medium you have to be very careful that you don't overstroke your paint and that you place one even coat of paint. So I was just trying to be sure to get into every single nook and cranny and to make it as even as possible. Now, if you're new here, my name is Favi. I am a mother of 5 and I DIY on my spare time. I am not an expert, but I love creating affordable home decor on a budget. So if these are things you like, be sure to hit that subscribe button for unique, budget-friendly inspiration for your home. So once I got into every nook and cranny, as you can see, I move on to the next step, which is the crackle. Now, this crackle medium, they have many different types. They have the medium, they have one that's I don't know if they call it strong or if they call it I can't remember what they call it, but basically there's a light medium, there's a medium lacquer, and there's also like a really like a hard design. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, they have 3 different ones. I got the medium one because I didn't want it too crackled, and but I also wanted the crackle to show. So I picked the medium finish, and then also I decided to touch it up with some of this FolkArt brushed metal in the color brushed gold. because I wanted to maybe have some of that creep through the cracks. Honestly, I don't even think I can see it very well through the cracks. So you could skip this step altogether, but I think I see a little tiny bit in the finished product. Now I'm gonna take this crackle medium, as you can see here, and I'm going to brush it all over this piece. Now this is not the step where you're going to see the crackling happen. However, this is a very thick solution, so I would recommend putting a lot on your brush and just swiping down as far as you can. Like I said, it's very viscous. It's a very thick solution, so it doesn't spread like paint would. I would recommend using this sponge brush as well, because I feel like it minimizes the strokes, and that's very important when you're doing this technique. Not to create too many brush strokes, or overstroking as they call it. So I went through and I just lightly brushed over to spread the solution all over this piece as evenly as possible. Now in this next step, I had no idea that this was acrylic paint until I was editing this video. So you would want to use a chalk paint. I got confused because my two white paints look exactly the same. My chalk paint bottle looks just like my acrylic paint bottle. Anyways, this is the part where you want to work fast but neatly. So you want to apply one even coat as fast as you can, because this is where the crackle effect happens, and it happens in like 10 seconds. Now I'm not sure if it's because I've used the acrylic paint, but once I brushed the paint on and the crackle effect started, I could not brush over those spots again because it would take off the paint. So I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the fact that it was an acrylic paint I used by mistake. It still came out pretty good at the end, but I really wish I used chalk paint, because you're supposed to use chalk paint. The first paint I put on was obviously chalk paint, and the top coat is supposed to be chalk paint as well. But anyways, this is why it's important to read the labels of your bottles. Okay, but I digress. I'm trying to show you here how quickly this crackle effect appears. It's insane, but I love the finish. I'm very happy that I picked the medium because I didn't want it to be so faint that you couldn't see the distressed feature of it from far away, but I didn't want it to be overly cracked. So I was very happy with this. Now, I applied the white paint more heavily on the bottom portion of this piece, and it creates a bigger crack when you do that. On the sides, I applied a very thin layer of paint, and that's why the crackle lines are more fine and not as defined. But I wanted to vary it up that way, so I was really happy with the end result. I let that all dry fully, and now I'm going to start working on the hardware. So I took off the one little piece at the bottom there, that just so that the bottom, that white little knob matched, just so that the hooks matched, sorry. Now I'm going to take these jewel border stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut out that bottom, that middle little portion there to help cover the hole that was left when I took off that white hardware. Then I used some crazy glue and I covered the hole with those little gold dots, sticker dots. Now I'm going to take this Mod Podge in hard coat, and I'm going to give this a nice coat of Mod Podge just to seal and help protect this piece of furniture. The hard coat finish of Mod Podge is recommended for furniture. So this is why I chose to use this finish of Mod Podge for my project today. So once it was nice and sealed and dry, I went ahead and I put the hardware back on. And once I got that done, I was super happy with how it was. It literally came out just like I wanted in my brain. My vision came to life. As I mentioned earlier, this is the Shop Your House collab hosted by MaryBeth over at MBGrayDesigns, and she had this great idea to bring us together to give you DIY inspiration with things you already have in your home. You don't have to spend money to make your house great. All you gotta do is watch all our videos, hit like, comment below, and you're entered into the $50 Amazon giveaway. Good luck! For this next DIY, I'm gonna take this little decor piece, a DIY I made a couple years ago, and it was in my kitchen, so it was kind of dungy, kind of dingy. Sorry, well, yeah, from a dungeon. Anyways, so I decided to clean it off very well, and then I took off the plastic as well. So when I put pieces of like Dollar Tree decor in my kitchen, I don't take the plastic off just because it's easier to clean. So since it's not going to be in my kitchen anymore, I did go ahead and take off the plastic this time. Now, I took this wooden letter C I got at the dollar store around my house, and I just decided to hit it up with some antiquing wax from FolkArt Home Decor. And I liked the way it was looking. It was kind of warm. I liked the feel that it gave this piece of wood. However, in my brain, I had a vision for it to be a lot darker. So I'd use this trick that my sweet friend MaryBeth from MBGrayDesigns, she does this all the time, and I really like this effect. What she does is she mixes black paint with her antiquing wax, and it makes the nicest color. So it looks very dark right now. I know it looks like black when I put it on this piece, but I added a little bit more black paint just to make it a little deeper in color, and it looks black when I apply it on, but I let it sit there for a little bit, and then I wipe it off later, and it gives me the perfect rich tone. It's a beautiful color. So if you haven't checked out MaryBeth's channel, I would strongly recommend you do that, because it's just it's a great trick, and this is the first time I've done it, but I love it so much. So now I'm going to take this frame and I'm going to remove the glass as well as the little picture it had inside, and I'm just going to use the frame to add a little decorative feature to this shelf I just made, coat rack. So I'm going to take off these little enclosures in the back, and I just did that by wiggling them back and forth. Normal humans would probably use a plier or a tweezer of some sort, but I couldn't find mine at the moment, so I just used my fingers like a savage, but it got the job done. Now once I got that done, I went ahead and I wiped off the excess stain off my wood, and then I hot glued it to the bottom there. So once I got this wood piece hot glued to the bottom left corner, I could not decide the greenery for the life of me. So I just went back and forth, and I don't hot glue until I'm sure. So finally I decided to just add some hot glue to the top corner, the top left corner, and I didn't want to add anything else because I wanted this to be very simple. So I added some greenery I had on hand, as well as some white eucalyptus from the Dollar Tree, and then I finished it off with a silver bell at the top left corner. And this is also from Dollar Tree, the silver bell. And that's it. That's all I did for this piece. Now I'm also going to decorate with this garland that I made in the spring. The spring summer. It's this garland. I can link the video iCard right here if you're interested in knowing how I made this garland, but I made it with some magnetic features. So I pulled off all the lemons because, I mean, lemons was my summer decor, but I want to use this same garland for my Christmas decor. Now, I know it's really hard for a lot of us to find greenery right now, so this is just another idea to use things you have in your home. I made this garland using leftover greenery picks just from my florals. Sometimes I pluck off the flowers and I use them in my DIYs, and then I'm left with this greenery pick that I have no use for. So I decided to use those and make this garland in the summer. So I'm going to take this pine cone garland from the Dollar Tree and just wrap it around. I'm going to keep the oranges on there because I like oranges in my Christmas garland. And I'm also going to use some more of these eucalyptus greenery picks. I got them in the color champagne as well as white. So I'm just going to pluck them off of the greenery of the picks themselves, and I'm going to slide them on to the greenery picks that I have on the garland. I slid off some of the white flowers that were there originally because they were very spring, and I'm just going to replace them by sliding on these eucalyptus by that little hole they have there from the pick. So I just slide them on. I slid about 10 of these eucalyptus pieces, and I put them on like in a pattern where I slid one to the right, and then I slid another one to the left and right and left and right, and then I just wiggled them around to block the greenery pick. So I slid them all towards the front. I rotated them all towards the front. I hope I'm making sense. I'm very sorry if I'm not making any sense, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I sped it up because I appreciate your time, and if you're still here, thank you so much for your attention and for spending part of your day with me. I so appreciate it so much. So once all of those greenery, the eucalyptus pieces were added, I just went ahead and I added some of this Christmas tree, like this tiny miniature tree from Dollar Tree. I was thinking about flocking it with some white paint, and I might do that in the future, but I didn't for this video. But that is another pretty cool idea if you wanted to do so. But I just wanted to make it feel like Christmas, and I think that this mini tree will help me do that. So I cut off some pieces from the base of this tree, and I'm just wrapping them around randomly just to cover some of the summer greenery that is on this pick. Sorry, that is on this garland. I'm just going to go around and cover as much of the base. I don't want the core of the garland to look summery. So I'm just going to fill it in with some of these Christmas tree pieces. I'm just using them as cable ties. Now, once I'm done doing that randomly, I'm going to take another one of these Christmas trees, and I'm going to open them up like a fan. I'm going to fan them out and make sure that they're flat. Then I'm going to take this mini tree, and I'm going to place it under the garland so that it looks more full and Christmas-like. I do the same thing to the other side as well. Now I'm going to use some of the green pieces from the base of this mini Christmas tree, and I'm just going to use it as if they were cable ties to secure it to this Christmas tree on both ends. Now I take some of these ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use some cable ties, some actual zip ties, and I'm going to secure them to this. You got to make sure that your cable tie is in the right direction so that it's able to zip closed. And I just used 2 of these. You're welcome to use as many as you want in your project. You also don't have to put oranges in your garland. You can put pine cones, you can put snowflakes, you can put any ornaments that you like. But this is just an idea. If you don't if you're struggling right now, I know a lot of people are struggling finding greenery in their stores. So if you can't find them, this is a good alternative. Now, I staged this on the coat rack piece that I made today, but this is going in my entertainment area. It's going up on a shelf. So this is going to serve its purpose just fine. It's going to look nice and Christmassy. I will add a lot more Christmas decor as time goes on, so please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I create something new in this house. I always try to bring creative ideas, always on a budget, so that you guys have tons of inspiration. And leave a comment down below about your greenery situation. Let me know, are you finding greenery? What are you decorating for Christmas? What is your decor style for Christmas? I would love to know that. Maybe what colors are you using for Christmas? Basically, just anything you want to say about Christmas, leave it in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys. So then I just go in and I add some pine cones randomly around. I do add some pine cones to the magnets because when I originally made this garland, I made it so that it could be seasonal, interchangeable. So the oranges and the pine cones all have magnets attached to them, so they're easily swapped out with the seasons. Alright, so that's all I have for you today. I hope you liked these DIYs. I hope they offered you at least one idea for your home. And if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more of what I make in this house. Anyways, that's enough of me and my banter. I have a new video coming out for you very, very soon, so be sure to hit that bell. And take care, friends. Until next time, God bless, take care, and catch you on the next video. Bye.